How fascinating that today, on Valentine's Day, I come to the realization that rolling is really largely a heart-centered practice. It's the modern human's ability to understand how to manipulate this sternal curl, or the sternum as Berthoz would talk about, Berthoz, I believe is the name of this theorist. The sternum as a perceived center of rotation, kind of like a wheel that we can manipulate in the body. If we look at theory of the Dantian, the traditional Chinese medicine, like the Chinese energetic centers, the primary Dantian being around basically the second chakra, the sacrum, the sacral chakra, what I think of as the primary keystone. Then we go up to that secondary Dantian as heart center, tertiary Dantian as the third eye. This idea that when we roll, what I found to be the most useful cue is that the monkey sees where it perceives its space. But that first movement of the hoop is really where the heart, or intention, biomechanically that sternum, that thorax, it starts to move. It initiates that weight shift that is then manifest through the rest of the system, through the place of greatest force transmission, like the thoracolumbar fascia, the pelvis, through the use of the largest lever in the body. It's kind of incredible to me that that spiral is really made physically manifest through that intention at heart center. That's our first cascade into spiral, into Fibonacci. To bring that back to the nuts and bolts of how does this inform my rolling? How does this deepen my rolling as my practice of my massage therapy, my chiropractic, my physical therapy, and ultimately my core conditioning? To roll, the cue that I found to be the most helpful for myself and all of my clients, I have the hoop swings over to the side. Per the mashing drills, the goal is to soften the glutes as we start to weight bear in them, to scoop in pelvic floor a little bit instead. And the most useful cue I found to be that when I start to swing over to the side, I'm curling my sternum in order to leave my leg behind me as long as possible. As the hand glides to lower me, I curl my sternum even deeper to leave that leg behind me as long as possible until it has to come up and over, ball of foot, ball of foot. It necessitates the mashing of the shoulder girdle. Instead of focusing on just that mashing of that armpit line to release the whole shoulder girdle, to ultimately release the sternum, the use of that sternal curl, if I just curl deeper, it allows me to leave that leg behind me as long as possible. I come up and over. And then as I come from back body to the front body, I tuck the tail, curl the sternum to prepare. As I float the heel, I curl deeper in the sternum to be able to drop that heel to the ground easily, as opposed to using the leg as a counterweight to pull me over, which doesn't allow you to fully access that psoas line, that passive rolling away from the femur as far as we possibly can to really activate, wake up this psoas line. I think it's just kind of an amazing Valentine's Day meditation that really, where we can see and perceive our space, that first gesture that brings us into this Fibonacci cascade, this spiral that